Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakodash. I want to give double honors to my apostles at Great Millstone, and sincere shalom to the elect out there teaching His truth in all honesty and sincerity in these last days. Okay, and this lesson is about, ask the question, what about war babies? Okay, what about war babies? And that's a good question to ask because you have a lot of Israelite groups out there that don't believe in the whole Israelite foreigner doctrine. Okay, they don't believe that Israelites are going to look like all the nations from wherein they were scattered. Okay, and it's a spiritual fallacy as well as a logical one, because there's several examples in the scriptures of our forefathers, even kings, even kings, having children with women of the other nations. So then, they never answer the question: if an Israelite man has a child with a woman of another nation, okay, they'll say, well, that's not an Israelite. But what nation of people is it? Every person in the scriptures has a nation. Okay? There's nobody that comes from other nations. All right? Now, there are examples of people in the scriptures who lived in other nations, but they might have been from another nation as far as bloodline. Okay? There's no examples of people in the scriptures, anyone in the scriptures, having the bloodline of more than one nation. That's because the seed is passed down from your father. Okay, the seed is passed down from the father. That's where you get the word seed from. It comes from sperm. That's what it is. It's sperm. Okay, your seed is your sperm. And whatever plant or whatever hole in the ground that you decide to plant your seed into, okay, it will turn out wherever the seed of that father is. Okay? And it's really not hard to understand. And the hypocrisy of these camps really shows. And I mean, I'm not just saying this because I'm an Israelite foreigner myself, because I look like a so-called Israelite foreigner. Okay? But because it's holding back a lot of progress from the truth, man. You know, it's holding back a lot of progress from the truth, man. And these guys, they don't understand the offenses that they cause to the brothers who may be, who may look like someone of another nation, man. Okay? They don't realize the offense that they're causing a lot of those brothers, man. You know? It can dampen your spirit when you're constantly faced with it. I've been there when I first came in the truth. You know, it don't bother me no more. Somebody says that, somebody tells me that there's no way I'm a Jake, blah, blah, blah. You know, I just assume that they don't know what the hell they're talking about and they're on a low level. Okay? But let's start off with Deuteronomy 20 and 10. Okay? Because the question remains, what about war babies? What about war babies? What nations? You know what? We'll just read the scripture. Deuteronomy 20 and 10. When thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. I mean, the scriptures are plain and clear. Okay, our people were scattered throughout the 12 tribes, or the 12 tribes were scattered throughout every nation on earth, right? It says that in James 1 and 1. Okay? And it shall be, if it make the answer of peace, and open unto thee. So if you go to a city for war, okay, now you brothers can read up to get a little more background. Now comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. Okay, so you make an offering of peace. Okay, because that really shows what separates our people from others, man. You know, especially them Edomites, man. Them Edomite empires that existed, like the Romans, they were just downright brutal with how they treated people. You know, it was very rare that Rome gave another city a peace offering or peace option. Okay, and even if they did offer it, there was a scheme at hand. You know, the devil playing his cards. And thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. And it shall be, if it make the answer of peace and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto thee. So servants, okay? And they shall serve thee. And if it will make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, then thou shalt besiege it. Okay, meaning what? They reject the peace offering. They go to war. This is what we're supposed to do. This is in the law. Okay, this is in the law. And when the Lord thy power hath delivered it into thine hands, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. Okay, every male. And it wasn't just in for all you bootleg Israelites who don't know your basic history. We were not the only nation of people that practiced this. Okay, a lot of nations throughout history and a lot of empires throughout history, when they would invade a city, they would kill the males. That's not. I mean, that's common knowledge, man. Okay, our people were not the only ones to do this. But this is what we're supposed to do. This is hey, if the Lord delivers your enemies into your hands, this is what you should do. Thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. So kill every male. Okay? Kill every male. Why? Because the male is who carries the seed. That's who carries the name. Okay? When you wipe out another nation and you take over all their cities, you're really trying to wipe out their bloodline. You're trying to wipe them out, man. Okay? And the Lord is a man of war. All right? He made it that way. He's the Lord of armies. He made it that way. Okay? People always like to talk about, oh, it's just human nature to want to conquer and take over the women. No. That was... Well, who made human nature? The Creator, man. Y'all are too... wound up into the whole creation instead of the Creator. But the women and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoil thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself. Now what are you going to do with these women? What are you going to do with these women, man? Let's say those women, let's say you go to a war with another nation, and the women look all exotic and different and beautiful. What are you going to do with those women? Let's say you invade a Japhetic city. And you get a lot of them golden brown looking women, man. Them golden brown looking women, man. Islands full of them. All right? You're invading some Japhetic land. What are you going to do with those women? Now let me ask you this. Notice how it says kill the males and take the women. Take the women, right? Let's say that those men, those Israelite men, have children with those women. What nation of people do they fall under? Okay? Which of the, I believe there's 18 nations. Okay? Which one of the 18 nations does it fall under? It doesn't fall under 2 different nations. It doesn't fall under 3 different nations. Okay? Let's say that, let's rewind a little bit. Let's make a little, a story. Okay? Because that's what you got to do with Jake. You got to You got to make them think. I mean, they won't think on their own, but you kind of have to make them think. I mean, I'm talking about Jake's here in Babylon, all right? You know, because our people weren't always like that. But now it seems like they are. They react first before they think. Okay? Now, let's say I'm a commander or a general in an army, and it's the nation of Israel back in ancient times, and we want to invade a city that's been maybe talking shit or went back on a trade deal or whatever, or we just have a natural natural back and forth with each other. Okay, let's say it's some Ammonites, right? Let's say it's some Ammonites you're going to war with. You kill all the males, right? You kill all the males as instructed by Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Okay? And you see all kinds of pretty women. Little Ammonite women. All the males are there. You're there. Well, hey, let's read the verse. Verse 14, with the women and the little ones, meaning they're little kids, right? Make them servants, right? And the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoil thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself. Right, so that's our reward. And thou shalt eat the spoil of thy enemies, which the Lord thy power hath given thee. So this was a reward from the Lord, man. Now let's get to the 21st chapter, right? Okay, so we created the story, the backstory, right? We're invading we're Israelites, and we're invading a Moab or Ammonite city or Moabite city. It really doesn't matter. But you know, and all the males are gone, and there's all these pretty women in our possession. Okay, all these pretty women in our possession. They're all lined up. Us soldiers, we get our pickings. You know, according to the rank and file, right? Right? Let's say a particular brother was a valiant hero in that battle, and he gets first dibs. Okay? Or second dibs or whatever. And they're all lined up. And we're going to read the scripture. Okay, right? Because I pretty much just gave you an image. Okay? You got to think in pictures sometimes. Okay? This is Deuteronomy 21:10. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies. Okay, go back to the 20th chapter. What does it say? It says, kill the males and women, the children, the cattle, so on and so forth. Take for spoils. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord thy power hath delivered them unto thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, meaning that what we possess them, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, so we're going to war. Right? We destroyed the city. Okay? We disposed of the males. And there's all these just beautiful women around. And we're getting our picks of the spoil. Right? Well, hey, you see among them captives a beautiful woman that catches your eye. It might not even be just her outer beauty, you know. You might sense she might be a beautiful woman with some kind of humility about her. Okay, you know, and you might be like, well, I mean, she is mourning the loss of her family, so you know, you decide to take her into your house, okay, which is totally lawful. What is going to eventually happen with this beautiful woman? Okay, you're going to eventually do the act of reproduction with her. Okay, you're gonna try and reproduce with her. Okay. Now I know it sounds silly the way I'm explaining things, but you gotta explain this to Jake. Okay, a lot of you guys are hypocrites, man, because a lot of y'all used to get on brothers based on how they look, but now you got brothers in y'all's camps that look like those brothers you were ridiculing, and you never apologized. You never apologized. Okay. Back in the day, ISUPK used to say that they used to pretty much not be very accepting of the Latino tribes because they didn't really want so-called light skins in their camps. But now they're all over in ISUPK. Okay, Zabak is starting. Zabak used to come against me and other brothers, man. You know, Zabak used to talk his shit about the Israelite foreigner doctrine, and now he's got Israelite foreigners in his camps. Okay, so I mean, it just shows the hypocrisy. Right? Now what about war babies? You can't answer this, man. You can't answer this. So you go into war, you get the beautiful woman, you take her captive, right? Verse 11, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and has a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. You make her your wife. You make her your wife. That means that whatever child comes out, it has your last name. Okay? It's your family's name. Okay? So you have let's say you know this beautiful Ammonite woman or Moabite woman. Let's say you have a child with them and they come out looking just a little more Asian than Tiger Woods. Imagine you just take a little Sharpie and just put a little end on each side of Tiger Woods' eyes. Right? What nation is that, man? What nation is that son? Okay? What if he comes out, looking very Moabitish? That happens sometimes, man. Sometimes a man or a woman can have a son and it comes out looking a lot like the mother, or having the features of a mother, like hair colored, things like that. Those things happen, man. You know? So what nation of people does that fall under? What nation of people does that fall under? Okay? So you make her your wife, verse 12, then shalt thou bring her home to thy house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her. Okay? And shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. Right? So, hey, our people, you know, we're a royal people. We deal with things with class, man. We take we give our captives a time of mourning before we get them right, you know, because obviously if you have a woman of the heathen nations, and you know her whole family's freaking dead, obviously you're not going to bring in some woman and let her eat pork into your house. You know, you're going to teach her the laws. Okay, and you're gonna what? You're gonna eventually get with her, give her the rod of correction. Okay, you're gonna give her the rod of correction. You're gonna and eventually y'all could very well have, if the Most High made her womb fruitful instead of barren, she'd have children, and those children are your children. Okay, they're Israelites. That's what matters, man. That's what matters, man. Like Naamah with Rehoboam's mother. Okay, Judah had children with the women of the heathen nations. Okay, so on and so forth. There's so many examples in the scriptures. Okay. And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thy house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. And you guys aren't supposed to get into endless genealogies. Okay? They gender more questions and create strife. Okay? They just create question after question. What about this? What about that? And it creates strife, man. Getting into endless genealogies creates strife. Okay? And after that, thou shalt go unto her. I mean, you sleep with her and be her husband, which shows that sex consummates marriage, right? And she shall be thy wife. And if it shall be that thou have no delight in her, now how come there doesn't need to be a law written on what happens with if you have a child with this woman, what nation it is? How come that doesn't need to be mentioned in the scriptures? Because the scriptures assume that you have common sense, man. It doesn't need to be a law written because it's so obvious. Okay? But hey, let's get this and then we'll wrap it up. It's so obvious, but it's still a mystery. Still yet a mystery, man. Just like the MOTB. That's still a mystery among a lot of camps. But this mystery of the Gentiles, man. Let's see where we go. Where we're going to start with. We're going to start at Colossians 1:23. Be continued in the faith, grounded and settled, and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel, which ye have heard, and which was preached to every creature which is under heaven, whereof I, Paul, am made a minister, who now rejoice in my sufferings for you, and fill up that which is behind of the afflictions of Yahushua in my flesh, for his body's sake, which is the church, whereof I am made a minister, according to the dispensation of the Most High, which is given to me for you, to fulfill the word of the Most High. And Paul was the apostle to the Gentiles. Okay? So, hey, it was prophesied that we would come back in these last days. Okay? And this was going to be this mystery of the Gentiles, man, you know. Wow. Well, hey, Paul and them had to go through it, right? Even the mystery which hath been hid from ages and from generations, right? So it was a mystery. It's a mystery. But now is made manifest to his saints, to whom Yahweh. And that just goes to show you it's not talking about all the nations, just his saints, because only Israelites can be saints. To whom Yahweh would make known what is the riches of the glory of this mystery among the Gentiles, which is Yahushua in you, the hope of glory. Whom we preach, warning every man and teaching every man in all wisdom. Because it says all men, right? It says every man because you don't know who's an Israelite by looking at him. Anybody could be a saint when you look at it from face value, okay? But it's the spirit, okay? Our people have a certain vibration, a certain energy, a certain spiritual energy about them, man. They have certain mannerisms, certain characteristics, certain things that they're exceptional at, okay? Okay? Well, hey, Jake's got his own way of doing dumb shit too. Okay, his own unique way. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. You know what? The question remains: what about war babies? Can you guys answer? You're not gonna answer. You're not gonna make no responses. Okay, you're not gonna make no responses. But till next time, shalom, peace and blessings to you elect.